Good morning, students. Today we are going to start a very important part of the chapter, How Do Organisms Reproduce? And we'll be studying about reproduction in human beings. Under this, today we will be studying male reproductive system. So first of all, some introduction part is there. Human beings are unisexual. Unisexual means there is clear distinction between the male and female of human beings. Sexual dimorphism is there. Di means two, morph means structure. So two kinds of structures different in males and females they have are visibly, males are visibly different from females in physical buildup, external genital organs and accessory for or external sex characters, and structures associated with reproduction are different in males and females. Structures associated with male reproductive constitute the male reproductive system, and the structures associated with female reproduction constitute the female reproductive system. And reproductive systems of males and females consist of many organs which are distinguishable into primary and secondary sex organs. So you must know what are primary and secondary sex organs. So primary and secondary sex organs. So primary sex organs are gonads, which produce gametes or sex cells and they secrete sex hormones. And gonads of males are called testes, which produce male gametes, sperms, and the male hormone testosterone. And gonads of females are called ovaries, which produce female gametes known as ova and the female hormones that are estrogen and progesterone. And what are secondary sex organs? So these are the primary sex organs which are present in males and females. Secondary sex organs includes the genital ducts and the glands which help in transportation of gametes and reproductive process. So other than the primary sex organs, there are secondary sex organs which help, they support in the process of reproduction. They help in the transportation of gametes and the reproductive process. And they do not produce gametes or nor do they secrete hormones. Then primary and secondary sexual characters. So first, in the last slides, we talked about primary and secondary sex organs. So primary sex organs are gonads and secondary sex organs are genital ducts and the glands, okay, which are supporting in the process of reproduction. Now, what are primary sexual characters? So our bodies are not the same as it was in when we were children. So that time there were no functional changes in the body, but as the body mature and as we grow up, so there are different changes in the body which are happening. That means the body is becoming sexually mature. So there are primary and secondary sexual characters which appears in the human beings that shows that the person is attaining maturity sexually. So primary sexual characters are those present at birth, which are present by birth, that are primary sex characters which are present, and whereas secondary sexual characters are those that develop at puberty. Now, what is this puberty? So puberty is the age of human males and females at which the reproductive organs become functional. Gonads start producing gametes and sex hormones in the boys, and in the girls, the ovaries start producing eggs and the girls become sexually mature. And it is attained between the age of 13 to 14 years in males and between 10 to 12 years in females. In males, this puberty is triggered by the secretion of the hormone testosterone from the testes. So I told you this is a male sex hormone that is called testosterone, which is which is produced in the testes, and it is regulated by the hypothalamus region in the brain, by the pituitary gland. The hormone brings about the development of secondary sexual characters during puberty and maintains these throughout adult life. And in females, puberty is triggered by the production of the hormone that is estrogen from the ovaries, and this hormone brings about the growth and maturation of the reproductive tract and the development of secondary sexual characters. Now, what are the secondary sexual characters in human beings? So, enlargement of penis and scrotum, broadening of the shoulders and increased muscle development, enlargement of larynx and thickening of vocal cords, producing deepening of the voice, growth of pubic hair, that is the genital area, that is pubic hair and extra hair on the face, in the armpits and on the chest, changes in behavior associated with courtship and mating, that attractions are there. So there are changes in the behavior when one person attained puberty. So there's increase in height little much, and there are secondary sexual characters in human females also. There is growth of breast and external genitalia, that is vulva, growth of pubic hair and extra hair in the armpits, hair on beard, mustache and chest are lacking here. That is not a feature of females. The broadening of pelvis, the hip area, initiation of menstruation and ovulation. Okay, menstruation is the release of blood during once in a month, that are periods. Periodic changes are there in the bodies of the females that we will study later on. That is a different topic. And ovulation means the ovaries start producing eggs in females, and there is increase in the subcutaneous fat, particularly in thighs, shoulders, buttocks, and face. Then now come to the male reproductive system. So human male reproductive system consists of the following organs. Which are the organs which are present? Testes, scrotum, vas deferens, urethra, and penis. These are the main organs, and others are also there which are accessory, and they help in the transportation. So look here that this is the structure of testes. Okay, human males have a pair of testes. Pair means two are present in number. Singular is known as testis, T-E-S-T-I-S, and plural is known as testes, T-E-S, testes. So what is happening in the testis is the production of the sperms. So the production of sperms is taking place in the testes, and these testes, they lie in a bag-like structure that is called scrotum. Okay, and here you see one tube is coming from the testes and going to the seminal vesicle. So this tube of about 40 centimeter long, which carries the sperm from the testes to the seminal vesicle, is known as vas deferens. So singular is vas deferens and plural is vasa differentia. So here in the seminal vesicle, the sperms are stored temporarily, and then again during the copulation, these are ejaculated. So these two more glands are present here. These are prostate glands and these are corpus gland. Prostate gland is one in number, corpus gland are two in number. And what they do, they activate the sperms, they provide the alkaline medium, they help in transportation, they provide the fluidity to the sperms, and they provide nourishment to the sperms. Clear? So, and these are, you can also say that secondary sex organs are these. Okay, primary sex organs are gonads, and these glands are secondary sex organs which are helping in transportation of the sperms from the male reproductive system to the female reproductive part. Yeah. So up to here it is vas deferentia, then this is the urinary bladder, and here this urethra is a common passage for the sperms and the urine. Okay, and penis is a thick muscular organ which is responsible for copulation process. That is that of sexual intercourse. So first is testes. Now let us study in little detail about all the organs of the male reproductive system. First is testes, singular is testis. Human male possesses two testes, which are the primary reproductive organs lying outside the abdominal cavity. So why do they lie outside the abdominal cavity? That also has a reason. So two testes are the male gonads, the sites where male gametes, that is sperms, are made. And testes also produce male sex hormone, that is testosterone. Means there are two functions of testes. First is the formation of the sperms are taking place. Second is the production of the male sex hormone, that is testosterone, is also taking place in the testes. Then next is scrotum. Scrotum, as I told you, is a bag-like structure, skin pouch in which the testes lie. It is divided internally into right and left scrotal sacs by a muscular partition, and Very important, this line is, the scrotum acts as a thermoregulator. Thermo means temperature, temperature regulator. The scrotum acts as a temperature regulator and provides an optimal temperature for the formation of sperms. So what kind of temperature the sperms require for the formation? So they require 1 to 3 degrees Celsius lower than the normal body temperature. Like we have 37 degrees Celsius, that is a normal body temperature. So these sperms require 1 to 3 degree, that is 34 to 35 degrees Celsius they require for the production of the sperms. So sperms develop at a temperature 1 to 3 degrees Celsius lower than the normal body temperature. So life of sperms is greatly reduced if the temperature is higher, and during winters when temperature falls, the scrotum shrinks to bring the testes close to the body to get warmed, and during summers when temperature rises, the scrotum becomes relaxed to lose heat. So this is the function of the scrotum. It acts as a thermoregulator and it provides the optimum temperature that is required for the production of the sperms. And there are two words here. One is semen and sperms. So semen is a fluid which contains sperms. This semen is a fluid that contains sperms. Sperms are lot in number. So if you take 2 ml, just about 2 ml of semen, that will contain about 40 million sperms. Okay, and lifespan of sperms is of about 5 days, and they can be frozen also, and they can be preserved also outside. Yeah, but if discharged on the surface, then hardly 1 or 2 days life. It needs proper nourishment to keep them alive. Then vas deferens. So vas deferens, plural is vasa differentia. It is a straight tube of 40 centimeter long, carries the sperms to the seminal vesicles. And sperms are stored temporarily in the seminal vesicles where mucus and watery alkaline fluid mix with the sperms. Okay. The next is urethra. Urethra, as I told you, is a common passage. So 20 centimeter long tube. See up to here, from where there is a connection that one ureter is coming from the urinary bladder. So up to here it is called vas deferens, and then it becomes common passage. So then it becomes urethra. From here we call it urethra because then the partition, this partition is also coming this side. Yeah. So this a 20 centimeter long tube arises from the urinary bladder to carry urine and runs through the penis and opens to the outside through male genital hole. And urethra carries urine from the bladder as well as sperms from the vas deferens through the penis. That is, it is a common passage for both sperms and the urine. Okay. Then last is penis. Penis is a long and thick muscular organ made up of erectile tissue. At the time of excitement, the erectile tissue gets filled with blood, causing the penis to become erect. And during copulation, that is the act of sexual intercourse, sperms are ejaculated for the purpose of reproduction. Ejaculated means discharged, released. So sperms are released and discharged into the female reproductive tract for the purpose of reproduction. So this is a summary, a flow chart showing the path of sperm and role of different glands in human male reproductive system. So if you understand this, then you understand the whole male reproductive system. So as I told you have to begin from the testes. So testes are the sites where formation of sperms takes place and secretion of sex hormone is also taking place, that is testosterone, and these arrows show that from where the sperm is traveling. So from here the sperms are being carried by vas deferens that carries sperm to the urethra, and then first they are temporarily stored in the seminal vesicles which are 2 in number. So they secrete mucus and watery alkaline fluid that contains nutrus fructose. Each seminal vesicle releases its contents into ejaculatory duct during ejaculation. Okay, ejaculation is release of the sperms. Then there is a urinary bladder present on the top which collects and stores urine, and from here you see that this is ureter part, and from here, from this point, the path becomes common. So from here we call it urethra, and you can see these are the uh, It's three glands which are present here, that is prostate gland, which is one in number, and Copper's glands are two in number. So they are two present. They secrete mucus and an alkaline fluid into the urethra, and this secretes mucus and slightly alkaline fluid, which is released during ejaculation. Okay, so there's no there's not as much difference between these two glands. Only is this thing that it lies proximal. It lies at the base of the urinary bladder, and corpus glands lie at the base of the penis. Okay, and prostate gland, they help in activating the sperms also. Okay, they help in activating the sperms also, and corpus glands, they provide nourishment more. Yeah. And then urethra, which is a common passage, it carries urine from the bladder as well as sperm from the vasa differentia, and lastly urine from the male genital pore. Urine at the time of urination and semen at the time of ejaculation is released. Yeah. So there's one problem in which there is enlargement of prostate after the age of you can say 60. It starts appearing in some males, not all, not necessary that it will appear in all the males, but some males, they face the problems of enlargement of the prostate gland when it becomes unfunctional. Okay, when this is non-functional, so that time the problem can develop, that they can become enlarged and swelling can be there. Okay, so it can be a serious problem, but medication is there, treatment is there. So this is all about the male reproductive system. Thank you.